The wind screamed across the ice field like a living thing, and Devon Torres was beginning to think his thermal suit had finally given up. 3 days into what should have been a routine 2-week research posting, and the Arctic had already tried to kill him twice. He adjusted the scanner strapped to his wrist, watching the thermal readout flicker and spike. Something hot. Something that shouldn't be here. The crater came into view as he crested the ridge. Fresh. The ice around it had melted and refrozen into glass-smooth sheets that reflected the pale sun. At the center sat a pod, maybe twice the size of a cargo container, its surface a color Devon's brain couldn't quite process. Not silver, not white, something that seemed to shift between both depending on how the light hit it. He approached carefully, medical training overriding his common sense. The pod's hull had cracked open like an eggshell, and inside, curled against the far wall, was a body. Humanoid. Female, if he was reading the anatomy correctly, and blue, not metaphorically blue. Actually blue, the color of deep ocean water, with skin that seemed to shimmer with bioluminescent patterns that pulsed weakly. She was dying. Devon didn't need a scanner to know that. The dark fluid pooling beneath her was obviously blood, and there was too much of it outside her body. Her chest moved in shallow, desperate gasps. One eye opened, meeting his. It was entirely silver. No pupil, no iris. Just liquid metal that somehow conveyed more pain than any human eye could. Devon's hands moved before his brain could catch up. His medical pack came off his shoulder. Emergency foam to seal the worst of the wounds. But the blood loss. There was too much blood loss. She needed a transfusion, and he was looking at an alien species he'd never seen before in his life. The silver eye watched him, pleading, not asking for mercy. Asking for help. He was going to regret this. Devon rolled up his sleeve and pulled out the emergency transfusion kit. The compatibility scanner in the kit went haywire the moment he aimed it at her, flashing warnings he ignored. He found a vein in her arm, found one in his own, and connected them with the portable pump. His blood, red and human and absolutely not designed for whatever biology she had, began flowing into her. For 30 seconds nothing happened, then her body convulsed. The luminescent patterns across her skin flared bright enough to hurt his eyes. Devon grabbed her shoulder, holding her down as her back arched. This was it. He'd killed her, poisoned her with his own. The convulsions stopped. Her breathing steadied. The wounds across her torso began to close, not healing exactly, but sealing themselves with the same shimmering quality as her skin. The silver eyes opened fully, both of them now, and focused on Devon with an intensity that made him want to step back. She spoke. The language was nothing he recognized, musical and layered, like 3 people speaking in harmony. Then she stopped, frowned, and tried again. This time the words came out in perfect, unaccented English. You saved me. It wasn't a question. She sat up slowly, staring at the transfusion lines still connecting them. You gave your blood to someone you didn't know, to something you didn't understand. You were dying, Devon said. Simple as that. I'm a medic. It's what I do. No. She reached out, pressing her palm against his chest. The touch sent a jolt through him like static electricity, but warmer. You are Devon Torres. You are 28 cycles old. You fear the cold. You dream of warmer places. You think you are a coward, but you are not. He jerked back, breaking contact. How do you know my name? How do you... The blood bond. She looked at her hand, then at him. In my species, compatible blood creates a connection. I did not know humans could bond. I did not know any species beyond my own could bond. But here we are. Devon disconnected the transfusion line with shaking hands. What does that mean? A bond? It means I know you, and you will know me. It means we are connected now, permanently, in ways your science cannot measure. She stood, and despite the wounds she'd suffered, moved with perfect grace. I am Lyra, 3rd daughter of the Valeth High Court, and I am being hunted by those who would see me dead before I claim what is mine. Great, Devon muttered. I save an alien princess. Of course I do. Not a princess. A claimant. There is a difference. Lyra moved to the pod's opening, scanning the sky. And the hunters are close. They will have tracked my pod's descent. We have perhaps 1 rotation of your planet before they arrive. One day. That's all the warning I get? She turned back to him, and for the first time, something like sympathy crossed her alien features. I am sorry, Devon Torres. You should have left me to die. Now you are bound to me, and my enemies will become yours. The bond cannot be broken except by death. When I am in danger, you will feel it. When I am hurt, you will suffer. And when they come for me," she paused, "they will come for you as well." The first ship arrived 16 hours later, just after nightfall. Devon saw it on his station's radar before he heard it, a fast-moving blip that dropped from orbit like a falling star. Then 3 more. Then 6. "They're not subtle," he said, watching the screen. Lyra stood beside him, now wearing a thermal suit he'd scrounged from storage. It fit her poorly, but she didn't seem to notice. "The court does not believe in subtlety. They believe in overwhelming force." "What do they want? Why are they hunting you?" "Because I want to change things. Because I believe the Valeth Empire has spent too long conquering and not enough time building. Because I would make peace with species we have subjugated." She looked at him. "Because I am a threat to those who profit from endless war." Devon felt it then, a pulse of emotion that wasn't his own. Fear. Determination. And beneath both, a bone-deep weariness that spoke of battles fought long before she ever crashed on Earth. The bond. She wasn't lying about that. "The station has an emergency bunker," he said. "Underground. They won't find it easily. They will find it eventually. They always do." But she followed him anyway, moving through the corridors of the research station as alarms began to wail. The ships were landing. Or crashing. Devon couldn't tell the difference from the radar signature alone. The bunker was exactly what it sounded like, a reinforced room 10 meters below the ice, stocked with supplies meant to last 3 people a month. Devon sealed the door behind them and tried to ignore the way his heart hammered in his chest. Above them, something exploded. The lights flickered. "They're destroying the station," Lyra said calmly. "Searching for thermal signatures. When they don't find bodies, they'll expand the search radius." "How long do we have?" "Hours, maybe less." She sat down on one of the supply crates, her silver eyes never leaving his face. "I can feel your fear. Through the bond, you are terrified." "Of course I'm terrified. They're alien death squads tearing apart my research station looking for us. But you are not running. You are not demanding I leave. Why?" Devon didn't have a good answer for that. Maybe it was the bond making him feel protective of someone he'd met less than a day ago. Maybe it was just stubborn human stupidity. "Because you asked for help, and I'm not in the habit of taking back my help once I've given it." Something shifted in Lyra's expression. Not quite a smile, but close. "The Valeth have a word for this. For those who give without expecting return. For those who protect the weak, not because they are strong, but because it is right. We call them Kethril. There is no translation in your language that captures the meaning. But you are Kethril, Devon Torres. I'm really not. I'm just a medic who makes bad decisions." The bunker shook. Dust rained from the ceiling. Above them, something heavy moved across the ice, and Devon knew with sick certainty that the hunters had brought equipment, probably seismic scanners, probably drilling rigs. The bunker would protect them from immediate detection, but not from a determined search. "We need to move," he said. "There are ice caves 3 kilometers east. Natural formations. They won't show up on thermal scans. 3 kilometers across open ice while being hunted. You understand how dangerous that is? You have a better idea?" She didn't. They gathered what supplies they could carry, Devon strapping on emergency flares and a survival beacon he prayed he wouldn't need to use. Lyra moved through the bunker with practiced efficiency, checking weapons Devon hadn't known were stored there. She selected a compact rifle that looked human-made but had modifications he didn't recognize. "Where did that come from?" he asked. "Your military has been trading with off-world species for 3 of your years now. Did you think you were alone in the universe?" She checked the rifle's charge. "You are not. You have simply been sheltered." Devon wanted to ask more, but the ceiling groaned. Something was drilling down toward them. Time was up. The emergency exit led to a tunnel that opened 1/2 kilometer from the station, hidden behind a ridge of ice. They emerged into screaming wind and darkness, the only light coming from the burning remains of Devon's station on the horizon. 6 ships surrounded it, sleek and predatory, their hulls the same color-shifting material as Lyra's escape pod. "Stay low," Lyra whispered. "Move. Fast. Don't stop." They ran. The ice was treacherous, broken and uneven, and Devon's thermal suit limited his mobility, but Lyra moved like water, flowing across the terrain with inhuman grace. Twice he stumbled, twice she caught him without breaking stride, her grip impossibly strong. The bond pulsed between them. He could feel her awareness, her constant scanning of their surroundings, her absolute focus on survival. And beneath that, something else, gratitude. She was grateful he hadn't abandoned her. They were a kilometer from the station when the first drone found them. It dropped from the sky like a hunting bird, sleek and silent, scanners painting them with targeting lasers. Lyra didn't hesitate. She brought the rifle up and fired 3 times in rapid succession. The drone exploded in a shower of sparks and twisted metal. "They know we're here now," she said. "Run faster." More drones came. Devon lost count after the 5th. Lyra shot them all, her movements precise and economical, wasting no energy. But the rifle's charge was depleting. He could see the indicator dropping with each shot. The cave entrance appeared like a blessing, a dark slash in the ice wall. They dove inside as a drone screamed past overhead, its scanners sweeping the area. Inside, the temperature dropped even further, but the cave walls were thick enough to block most scanning technology. Devon collapsed against the wall, gasping for breath. Lyra knelt beside him, checking him for injuries with efficient hands. "You are unharmed. Good. They were trying to kill us. No, they were trying to kill me. You are simply in the way." She reloaded the rifle from a power cell she'd taken from the bunker. "The hunters do not care about collateral damage. If you die because you stand between them and their target, they will not mourn you." Comforting. It is truth. Comfort is a luxury we do not have. She stood, moving deeper into the cave. These tunnels go deep. We can use them to hide, to move unseen, but eventually they will map the entire system and force us out. Then what? Then we fight, or we die. Those are the only options remaining. Devon followed her into the darkness, relying on the emergency light clipped to his suit. The cave system was vast, tunnels branching in every direction, ice walls smooth as glass. Somewhere above them, the hunters were regrouping. Somewhere above them, people were making decisions that would determine whether he lived or died. And beside him, connected to him through blood and biology he didn't understand, was an alien princess who had dragged him into a war he never asked for. The bond pulsed. Fear, determination, and something new, hope. She believed they could survive this. Against all logic and probability, Lyra believed. Devon wasn't sure if that made him feel better or worse. They traveled through the ice caves for hours, Lyra leading the way with absolute confidence despite never having been in these tunnels before. The bond worked both ways, Devon realized. She could sense his knowledge of the terrain, his memories of survey maps he'd studied during training. She was navigating using his own mind as a guide. "This is incredibly invasive," he muttered. "Yes," she agreed without apology. "But it keeps us alive. Would you prefer privacy or survival?" "Can I have both?" "No." The tunnel opened into a larger chamber, this one with evidence of previous human activity. Supply caches marked with military insignia, emergency shelters. And in the center, a communications array that looked far too sophisticated for a simple research outpost. Devon stopped. "What is this place?" Lyra examined the equipment with narrowed eyes. "A forward operating base, hidden from official records. Your military has been preparing for contact with hostile species. How long have they known? How long has Earth been?" 3 years. I told you this." She activated one of the terminals, her fingers moving across the interface with practiced ease. "Your world made first contact with the Valith Empire 37 months ago. Trade agreements were signed, technology was exchanged, and certain members of your leadership were promised power and protection in exchange for cooperation."
Cooperation with what?
"With whatever the Empire desires. Resources, strategic position, complicity in actions your people would find abhorrent." She pulled up data on the screen, alien script mixed with English text. "This base is not here to protect you, Devon. It is here to ensure Earth's submission remains absolute." The betrayal hit him like a physical blow. His own species, his own government. They'd sold out humanity before most people even knew aliens existed. Then the terminal beeped. Incoming transmission. Lyra's hand moved to the rifle, but the message was already playing. A human face appeared on screen. Male, maybe 50, with the hard edges of career military. This is Colonel Hayes, Earth Defense Command. To whoever is accessing this terminal, you are in violation of restricted military space. Identify yourself immediately. Lyra's expression went cold. He is here, on this world. You know him? I know his type. A collaborator. Someone who sold his loyalty for the promise of advancement. She leaned toward the screen. I am Lyra of Valeth. I know you are coordinating with the hunters. I know you are feeding them information about this world's defenses. And I know you believe the Empire will reward you for your service. Hayes' face remained impassive. Princess Lyra, I'm surprised you survived the crash. The Empire put quite a bounty on your head. And you intend to collect it? I intend to be on the winning side when this is all over. The Valeth Empire spans 100 worlds. Earth is one planet, barely capable of defending itself. When they offer partnership, you take it. When they offer trade, you accept. And when they ask you to hand over a single fugitive, he smiled, you hand her over. Devon stepped into view of the camera. She's under my protection. Hayes actually laughed. Dr. Torres. I've read your file. You're a civilian medic with no combat training assigned to a research station that doesn't officially exist. You are in no position to protect anyone. Then why are your hunters failing to capture her? The smile faded. A temporary setback. The princess is skilled, I'll grant her that. But she's alone, wounded, and running out of places to hide. Whereas I have an entire military complex at my disposal, full cooperation from the Valeth strike team, and authorization to use whatever force necessary. He leaned forward. Surrender her now, and I'll make sure you walk away from this. You have my word. The word of a traitor, Lyra said. Worth less than nothing. The word of a realist. I'm trying to save your life, Torres. The princess is dead either way. The only question is whether you die with her. The transmission cut off. Devon looked at Lyra. He's right, isn't he? They have more resources, more people, more everything. We can't win this. No, we cannot. She moved through the base, gathering weapons and supplies. But we can make them pay dearly for their victory. We can ensure that when I fall, the galaxy knows the truth of what happened here. And we can... She paused, her hand moving to her chest. We can protect what matters. The bond flared. He felt what she felt. Not fear of death. Fear of failure. Fear that everything she'd fought for, every reform she'd dreamed of implementing, would die with her. Fear that Earth would remain a vassal state, humanity enslaved before they even knew they were in chains. There has to be another way, Devon said. There is not. I am sorry, Devon Torres. I am sorry I dragged you into this. I am sorry the bond has tied your fate to mine. If I could sever it, spare you what is coming, I would. Would you really? She met his eyes. No. I am selfish enough to be grateful for your company at the end. Even knowing what it costs you. The base shook. Seismic charges. The hunters had found them. Devon made a decision that would probably get him killed. He grabbed Lyra's arm. Hayes said this base has full cooperation with the Valeth strike team. That means communications, coordination. Does it also mean command authority? Possibly. Why? Because if Hayes is coordinating the hunt, he's here, in this base. Or somewhere close enough to maintain real-time communication. Devon pulled up the terminal again, accessing the base's network, and if he's here, we can get to him. To what end? Killing one collaborator changes nothing. No. But capturing him might. Devon's fingers flew across the keyboard, pulling up security protocols and access codes. He said he has authorization to use whatever force necessary. That authorization has to be documented, recorded. If we can get proof that Earth's military is actively collaborating with an alien empire to hunt down a political refugee, you would expose your own government's corruption. I'd expose a traitor. There's a difference. He found what he was looking for. Hayes' location, broadcasting from a command center 2 kilometers northwest. And maybe Just maybe there are enough good people left who'd be angry about being sold out without their knowledge. Lyra stared at him. Through the bond, he felt her surprise, her hope, and beneath both, a growing respect. This is a terrible plan. You have a better one? No. But I am beginning to understand why the universe saw fit to bond me to you. She checked her rifle. We attack the command center, we capture Hayes, we broadcast the truth, and we pray your people care enough to act. One more thing. Devon pulled up the base's armory access. We're going to need better weapons. The armory was a revelation. Not just human weapons, but Valeth tech, energy rifles, plasma charges, personal shield generators. All of it marked with Earth Defense Command insignia, all of it proof of collaboration that went far deeper than simple trade agreements. Devon strapped on a shield generator and grabbed an energy rifle. The weapon felt wrong in his hands, too light and too balanced, but the charge indicator showed full power, and the targeting system synced with his suit's display automatically. Have you ever killed anyone? Lyra asked. No, you may have to tonight. Can you do that? Devon thought about Hayes' smug smile, about the hunters who destroyed his station and tried to kill them, about an empire that conquered worlds and the humans who helped them do it. Yeah, I think I can. They left the base through a maintenance tunnel, emerging into the frozen night. The command center was lit up like a beacon, its defenses visible even from a distance. Guard towers, patrol drones, and at the center a bunker that could probably survive a direct nuclear strike. We will not fight our way through that, Lyra said. No, we'll sneak. Devon pulled out one of the access codes he'd stolen from the terminal. Hayes thinks we're still running. He's not expecting us to attack. They approached from the east using the ice ridges as cover. The shield generators made them invisible to thermal scans, and the patrol patterns were predictable enough that Devon could map safe routes between them. Military training by the numbers. Effective but unimaginative. The first guard died without seeing them. Lyra moved like smoke, her blade finding the gap between helmet and body armor before the man could raise an alarm. Devon looked away, fighting nausea. The bond carried Lyra's emotions to him. No pleasure in the kill, just grim necessity. The second and third guards went down the same way. By the fourth, Devon had stopped looking away. They reached the bunker's entrance. Devon used Hayes' access code. The door opened with a hydraulic hiss. Inside, chaos, soldiers scrambling for weapons, alarms wailing. And in the center, behind a ring of guards, Colonel Hayes staring at them with open shock. "Kill them!" he shouted. The guards opened fire. The shield generators flared, absorbing the first volley. Devon returned fire on instinct, the energy rifle burning through armor and flesh with terrible efficiency. Beside him, Lyra moved like a dancer, every shot precise, every movement flowing into the next. The bond synchronized them. Devon knew where she would move before she moved. Lyra knew which targets he would engage. They fought as one organism, covering each other's weaknesses, amplifying each other's strengths. In 90 seconds, the guards were dead or dying. Hayes backed against the wall, hands raised. "You're making a mistake." "The Empire will," Lyra shot him in the leg. He went down screaming. "The Empire will do nothing," she said coldly, "because I am going to ensure the truth of this reaches every corner of the galaxy. Your collaboration, your betrayal, all of it." Devon moved to the command center's main terminal. "How do I broadcast this?" The blue interface, wide spectrum transmission. "It will reach every receiver in this solar system and beyond." He activated it, uploading every file he could access. Hayes' communications with the Valeth hunters, authorization for the attack on the research station, trade agreements that gave the Empire rights to Earth's resources in exchange for technology and military support. All of it. "You're destroying everything we've built." Hayes gasped through the pain. "Earth needs the Empire's protection. Without it, we remain free." Devon hit send. The files transmitted, broadcasting across every channel simultaneously. "And freedom's worth fighting for." The bunker shook. Outside, something massive was landing. Multiple ships, their engines screaming as they descended. Lyra checked her rifle. "The hunters. They know we are here." "Can we fight them?" "No, not this many." She looked at him, silver eyes calm despite the certainty of death. I am sorry, Devon. I truly am. You deserved a longer life than this. The door exploded inward. Valeth hunters poured through, weapons raised. Devon counted 12, then stopped counting. Too many. Far too many. The lead hunter, taller than the others and wearing armor decorated with kill marks, stepped forward. He spoke in that musical, layered language. Lyra answered in the same tongue, her voice defiant. The hunter raised his weapon, aiming at her heart. Devon stepped between them. "No," he said simply. The hunter paused, spoke again, this time in English. "Move aside, human. This is not your fight. She's under my protection." "So yeah, it is. You would die for an alien you met 2 days ago. I would die for someone who asked for help." Devon's hand tightened on his rifle. "That's what humans do." The bond pulsed. Lyra's shock. Her desperate desire for him to step aside, to save himself. But also her pride. Her fierce, desperate pride that in the end she hadn't died alone. The hunter's weapon shifted, centering on Devon's chest, then stopped. Another voice spoke from behind the hunters. Older, female, carrying an authority that made even the lead hunter lower his weapon. A figure pushed through the crowd, shorter than Lyra, but moving with the same predatory grace, wearing robes instead of armor, marked with symbols Devon didn't recognize. She looked at Lyra, at Devon, at the blood bond that connected them, visible now as a faint shimmer in the air between them. She spoke one word in the Valeth language. Every hunter in the room lowered their weapons. Lyra stared at the newcomer. "Mother?" The older Valeth smiled. "Did you think I would not come when I felt the bond form, when I sensed my daughter had found something unprecedented?" She moved closer, examining Devon with curious silver eyes. "A human, bonded to Valeth. The science councils will study this for generations. You came to save me. I came because the bond called to me, because I sensed your desperation and your hope." Her mother looked at the hunters. "And because I grew tired of the court's assassination attempts on my daughter. It was time to remind them who holds true power in the Empire." She raised one hand. The hunters knelt. "Lyra is under my protection, as is her bonded. Any who move against them move against me. Spread this word across the Empire. Let those who plot in shadows know that the Empress has chosen her heir." Devon blinked. "Empress?" Lyra's mother smiled. "I apologize for the deception. My daughter chose to pursue her reforms without invoking my name. She wished to earn her position through merit, not birthright. Noble, but ultimately impractical when faced with assassins." "You let them hunt me," Lyra said quietly. "I let you prove yourself. There is a difference, and you did prove yourself, daughter. You survived. You found allies in unexpected places, and you bonded with a species we believed incapable of bonding." She looked at Devon. "Tell me, human, what do you want from this? Power? Wealth? Technology?" Devon glanced at Lyra, at Hayes bleeding on the floor, at the broadcast still transmitting Earth's betrayal to the stars. "I want the truth out there. I want Earth to know what's being done in their name. And I want your empire to leave us alone until we're ready to meet you as equals, not subjects." The Empress laughed, refreshingly direct. "I see why the bond chose you." She gestured, and 2 hunters moved to secure Hayes. "Your truth is already spreading, human. By morning, your entire world will know of the collaboration. What they do with that knowledge is their choice. And Earth's freedom. 3 of your years, I will declare Earth a protected world under Lyra's personal authority. No Imperial ships may approach without her permission. No trade agreements without her approval. Use that time to prepare yourselves, to grow stronger. And when the 3 years end," she smiled, "we will see if you are ready to join the galaxy." Lyra stepped forward. "Mother, I cannot stay here. My reforms, the court will wait. You have found something unique here, something that could change our understanding of biology, of compatibility, of connection itself." The Empress touched her daughter's cheek. "Study it, learn from it, and when you return, you will be stronger for the experience." She turned to leave, the hunters falling in behind her.
At the door, she paused. "One final thing, human.
The bond you share with my daughter is permanent. Where she goes, you must follow." Her pain will be your pain. Her danger will be your danger. And her victories will be yours as well. Do you accept this burden? Devon looked at Lyra. Through the bond, he felt her holding her breath, terrified he would say no. I already gave her my blood, he said. I'm not taking it back now. The Empress smiled. Then perhaps there is hope for both our species after all. She left. The hunters followed. And Devon and Lyra stood alone in the ruined command center, surrounded by the dead and dying, while Earth's betrayal broadcast to the stars. 3 years, Lyra said quietly. She gave us 3 years. Us. I am not leaving, Devon. The bond will not allow it. Where you go, I go. Your world is now mine to protect. She looked at him, silver eyes intense. I hope you are prepared for that. An alien princess as my permanent bodyguard. Yeah, that won't be weird at all. Not a princess. An heir. There is a difference, but she smiled when she said it. Through the bond, Devon felt her relief, her joy at survival. And beneath both, something warmer, affection. Genuine affection for the human who had saved her life. Hayes groaned from the floor. This isn't over. Earth needs the Empire. Without their protection, Earth will find its own way, Devon said. We usually do. He helped Lyra toward the door. Outside, the Empress's ships were lifting off, their engines bright against the dark sky. In the distance, emergency lights were activating at the research station. Someone had received the broadcast. Someone was coming to investigate. What happens now? Lyra asked. Now? I get debriefed, probably investigated, definitely reassigned. Devon looked at her. And you? I stay with you. Learn about your world. Prepare for when the 3 years end and Earth must face the galaxy properly. She paused. If that is acceptable. Through the bond, he felt her uncertainty, her fear that he would reject her now that the immediate danger had passed, that he would see her as a burden instead of an ally. Devon took her hand. The touch sent that familiar jolt of electricity through both of them, the bond recognizing and reinforcing their connection. I saved your life, he said. I don't do things by half measures. If you're stuck with me, I'm stuck with you. We'll figure it out together. She squeezed his hand. Together. I like that word. They walked toward the lights, toward whatever investigation and consequences awaited them. Behind them, the command center burned, taking Hayes' secrets with it. Above them, the stars watched, vast and uncaring and full of civilizations humanity was only beginning to understand. But Devon wasn't afraid anymore. The bond pulsed between them, steady and strong, carrying emotions both human and alien. Fear. Hope, determination, and something neither of them had words for yet, but both recognized. Lyra wouldn't leave him. She couldn't, even if she wanted to. The bond was permanent, biological, absolute. But as they walked through the snow, Devon realized something. He didn't want her to leave. Alien princess, warrior, reformer, whatever she was also the person who had chosen to trust him, to rely on him, to stand beside him when the universe tried to kill them both. That was worth something. Dad was worth everything. The broadcast would change Earth forever. The truth was out, the collaboration exposed. And humanity would have 3 years to prepare for a galaxy that was far more complicated than they'd ever imagined. But for now, walking through the snow with an alien princess who wouldn't leave his side, Devon Torres was content to take things one step at a time. Together, they would figure it out together.